Hey man, we're live.
Oh,
We are
yeah.
live. We are live. This is a holiday weekend edition, 4th of July weekend. Um, are there any big plans there, Vin?
Not at all. I love a weekend like this where you can just do absolutely fucking nothing. Although I'm
I
sure
do.
there's gonna be barbecuing.
I don't have that problem, Vin. I have a chock full schedule. See, we get these little grubby
Well,
freeloaders
you
that
got
live in.
kids and
Well, kid.
kid.
However,
I mean,
yeah, kid. But yes, so my day starts. I have to. I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna drink a lot of this tonight. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna drink a lot of this tonight. However, to be up early tomorrow morning, my son has to be at the barber before 10 o'clock. So I'm gonna be out front in the car, down in some FanWisers, sugar-free Red Bulls. You know what I'm saying? If for the folks that don't know, because whenever I bring up FanWisers, I call them FanWisers, sugar-free Red Bulls, and people be like, "Yo, son, it's 8:30 in the morning, nigga. Why is you drinking anything Waz's? I got no, it's just sugar-free Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Yeah, I get really like, yo, I've gotten like
But
both
don't you
ends of the
to
spectrum.
those though? Like, how does your tolerance hold up to that? Because I know some people. Like, I used to work with people who would drink the big Monster Energies every day, like for breakfast, and then it would turn into like, okay, one Monster Energy the first time you have it gets it wired for the whole day, but then you build up that tolerance, and all of a sudden it's like you're drinking 5 Monster Energies a day to get the same high.
Now, I've never gotten that, but I guess it's kind of like a weed head trying to stay even. So I'm not. It's like people who drink coffee at this point. Like you need the car to be started, and you need to keep going. So you may sip it. So I'll get 2 of the 12-ounce ones. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I get 2 of the 12-ounce ones. I drink the one, like the first one I'm drinking in the car on the way to the job. You know what I mean? And then I don't know, hour later maybe crack that second one.
Like I always, whenever I think of Red Bull, I think it's one of those products or those drinks that like came out of nowhere, just like appeared out of the ether one day, and now we all just accept that, like, yeah, Red Bull's a thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Energy drinks in general. You know what I was always intimidated by?
Not only is Red Bull, what?
You know what I was always intimidated by were those 5-hour energy joints.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I feel like
nope.
They're like, you got to drink it all in one. It's just in this little tiny bottle. I was like, yo, what in the magic beanstalk is this gonna grow in my stuff? Like, my heart is gonna blow up if I drink that whole thing.
Take a shot of really quick, and it's gonna give you 5 hours of energy. I'm a little wary of.
Yeah.
I remember on WWE programming for a long time they had ads for like
Stacker 2 with a bumblebee on it. That ain't nothing. You know that same spot in the goddamn gas station is occupied by the horny goat weed.
Oh,
Ryu pills,
guarana pills, and like. I remember the first time I saw a horny goat weed commercial. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
There are commercials for that stuff.
You look up horny goat. See if you can look up on YouTube right now while I'm talking about it.
Nah, I'm not gonna. My wife is gonna leave if she sees that.
Okay, so looking at horny goat weed because it was a commercial where it's like a couple sitting at a table at like a fine restaurant, and the woman goes up to go to the restroom, and the guy's like looking uncomfortable, like date's not going so well, and then like a cartoon goat appears and is like having trouble with your date, like you need some horny goat weed. And then he pulls out like the horny goat weed stuff, and I guess it like puts the battery in this guy's back, and he's able to fuck later that night. Like I don't. Like,
hey.
But just like the word, like those three, like horny goat weed. Like, yeah, what'd you take? I took some Viagra. I took some horny goat weed.
Man, yo, imagine, like, what is that? Like, do you brag to your lady about that? You like, hey,
yeah, like, what's your secret, baby? I got that horny goat weed.
Yo, that's the commercial.
Like, you got the what? The horny goat weed. Where'd you get it? The gas station.
The good, there's nothing you can if it ain't a candy bar or snack cake, you probably shouldn't eat it from a gas station.
Especially those, because they have the section at the front with all the pills. But then every once in a while, you'll go into a gas station, and they've got the like clear bag of pills that like just has the logo on the top, and it's like, what are these pills?
Oh, supposed yo, I have an uncle that
It's just like a mix
I
of
used to
pills.
see with those. Yeah, and it's supposed to. It's like vitamins. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
So
some sort of.
like you take this for your like you take it all, and like one helps your mind, one helps your dick, one helps your digestion. Like,
Yo, I don't know, man. This sounds wild. I don't know if I can indulge.
no, not from a gas station. No. You if a doctor told you, like, hey, take all these weird pills, like you'd be wary, but like getting it from a gas station?
Yeah, that's it. I just don't like the idea of.
Like you said, half the time I barely want to get snacks at the gas station, but the prices are so low at the gas station. Sometimes you find yourself like, 1 a.m. driving home from somewhere. You're like, I got $3 on me. I'll just buy a bunch of shit from the gas station.
Absolutely. It's scary. All right, what are you buying? Like when you go into the what do I buy? What is
the fried glizzies?
Fried glizzy sounds like a rapper. I'm gonna be honest.
Now, Banks, are you talking about fried glizzies or like French fry glizzies?
Yo,
that's what I want to know. I don't know who fries a hot dog. That's weird to me. Hot dog already has like a snap casing. You don't need to fry that shit.
Yo, I don't know. So then you got the goddamn, because the same gas station, you got them goddamn. He is talking about the fried glizzy. That same gas station, you got the hot dogs that are next to the slushy machine that have been there for.
On that roller, rolling around.
Look like they like Mr. Burns. They look like Mr. Burns.
They're rolling around. They got like a used Band-Aid on one of them. Like, I'll go for the slushy machine because that's like in a nice hermetically concealed container. Like, I can handle a slushy, but I don't know. Sometimes those hot dogs are just like you gotta go early enough if you're gonna get a hot dog. You gotta like really know when they fire that thing up.
Yeah, I mean, yo. So I was sitting here. I'm sitting here scrolling, and
look up that horny goat weed, aren't you?
I am, and it's a bunch of people just telling you not to take it.
Really? I mean, I'm not.
Like the one that said it'll give you rapid heartbeat, restlessness, insomnia. I mean, now people are saying like take maca root and it might, fix things. But yeah, I don't know. It's a wild deal here. Horny goat weed is just a wild search. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I guess that's with everything though. The whole like, oh, you gotta watch out. Like, it'll increase your heart rate. It's like, well, yeah, it's pumping blood to my dick. What do you like? Taking blood from the rest of your body and shooting it to one specific place. That can't be good.
No, not at all. It's a terrible idea. It is a terrible idea. Let's see how this thing. Let's see if we can watch this. Let's see if we can watch this commercial and see what happens, man. Because I'm super curious. But I just want to watch it live and see how it goes, man. Horny goat weed.
Much pressure when it gets back to the fire. Pleasure packed botanicals and pinnacle horny goat weed provide a potent solution of love in the fast lane. Get your own bottle.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Hey, yo, for real?
Did they just insinuate that goat fucked that lady?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Because the guy was like, hey, you gonna give some to me? He's like, get your own fucking bottle.
No, it turned into
for me.
It turned into a whole Hey Love commercial. And no, my brother, you got to get your own. Yo, niggas trying to get on the pink horsepower. Not the pink horsepower. Shout out to Body More Bottle. I'm trying something new tonight. Jack Daniels, Tennessee Honey. You know what I mean? See how it is. But of course, I'm also trying something old tonight. So we shall see how things go. Things should progress as normal. They used to sell horny goat weed at the gas station up the street. They probably still do.
Of course they did.
Yeah, it's a lady in like a lime green bikini on the front, well tanned, and she looks nothing like what you're gonna use that horny goat weed on.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you got
horny goat weed, the Rhino,
It said Blue Chews or the Wave. Hey, listen,
you know about the Blue Chews or the Wave Banks.
Hey, listen, if you want sponsors, you know what I'm saying? I'll sit down.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Throwing JR all the Blue Chew sponsorships.
And I use Blue Chew not on every once in a while. It'll get your thing hard, you know. I'm gonna get hard. I'm gonna get
barbecue sauce and take some Blue Chews.
Hey. You ever notice how people leave on barbecues and things
well, now you get into Bill Cosby.
That's exactly it.
That's the episode that I always remember when people talk about, like, man, I didn't see the signs. I'm just like, remember that episode with the barbecue sauce? And they're like, what are you talking about? And then I showed them the clip, and they're like, oh, I never thought about it. Like, what the fuck did you think that episode was about? That's all that episode was about. Like, every couple's having an argument, and then they don't really resolve the argument. Like, there's no good writing involved because nobody solves the arguments. It's just like they cut the commercial,
they ate the barbecue sauce,
and people getting lovey-dovey, and he's like, when everyone has my barbecue sauce, they get all lovey-dovey, and it's like, what do you put in that barbecue? What do you put in that barbecue sauce?
It's that Blue Chew barbecue. It's a Blue Chew barbecue, man. There's
no one on that show named everyone on that show's named Huxtable. He still has to name the show after himself.
Right, the Cosby Show, but it was like, yeah, how you? Oh, he found that interesting, man. You know what I mean? Combustible Huxtable, Heathcliff Huxtable. He's like, who is Cosby? I don't know. Hey, man, William H. Cosby Jr. Doctor. He just put out a Instagram post posing and smiling at the camera.
Oh, I bet he did. Do you remember when he was in prison and he had someone running his Twitter account? And on like Father's Day, when he was in jail, his account put out a tweet like, oh, happy Father's Day to all the fathers from America's Dad. Like, oh, we love you. And people were like, how the fuck is he using his Twitter account?
Because he's blind, ain't he? He's supposed to be legally blind now, too. Hold it down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on with old Billy. Yo, man, Bill the Pill is a wild guy, man. Bill the Pill has been he's a legendary.
I've always said I've always been a different world guy. I love A Different World. I think it's one of the most. I think what All in the Family was to like sort of like putting a mirror up to the culture in the 70s. I think that's what A Different World was in the 90s. Now, it didn't get the acclaim at the time, but I think anyone who goes back and watches it.
What happened with Different World, and we're actually about, my wife and I are about to start this Different World watch along pod, kind of satellite. It'll be on this feed here. But the first season of A Different World wasn't great, right?
No, it was a whole different show.
Correct. Then they brought in Debbie Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And changed things up. It was she pushed certain characters to the front that were kind of static characters, and they righted the ship, man. Yeah, that's honestly top five shows, sitcoms all time. When we're getting a redacted Kelly and redacted Cosby, like what are you comparing? Body counts? Well, I gave the girl the pill right there. I'm like, you got to no. That is a terrible idea. Jeez. As a matter of fact,
who would even join them on stage? Like they can't. Not bringing out like fake
men jumpsuits. They be at separate ends with the handcuffs attached to their ankles too. No, man, it's a terrible idea.
Hits. R. Kelly's doing songs, and Cosby's like, Here's the shirt from the Gordon Gartrell episode. Like,
yo, now listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. My childhood, Bill Cosby himself is one of the greatest stand-ups I have ever seen.
oh, I mean, absolutely. That's what makes it so like wild about what happened.
So, folks talk about like, do they still listen to R. Kelly? Don't listen to R. Kelly. I say this: get the bootleg, right? You can still jam it,
Right. You don't have
but
to give their estate money.
don't get a man no money. You know what I mean? Keep rocking the CDs if you already got it. Burn something. Find somebody. If you have a device that burns CDs, shout out to you. But find your device. You know what I'm saying? That may possibly burns a CD. And just go ahead and you keep on rocking in the free world.
Too many memories. Like, what, are you gonna erase every thing that he was in? That, like, oh, you're not gonna. You got to get rid of the Batman and the Batman Forever soundtrack, or, like, because he has a song about, like, well, you can't get rid of every little
greatest
thing.
man. But yeah, Bill Cosby himself. It sounds terrible. Because I don't think his estate's going to get any money off of it. But I would like to find a copy of Bill Cosby himself on vinyl. If that doesn't cost a lot of money, I might go take a look for that later on this evening. He talks about his family and there's some classic stuff on there, but I don't want him to get any new money from me.
Yeah,
because he's a nasty man. But that being the case, man, listen, I do what you do, but try not to give him no new money.
Yeah,
but let's go ahead and start the show. Welcome to the Where's Buffy podcast, where we're built for comfort and not for speed.
Hashtag shooting the five.
Yeah, it's the Where's Buffy podcast, where we are built for consistency.
you change it up because you don't want to get those fucking Crocs.
That's right. I'll never get them. Ever. Never. Yeah, man. Where's Buffy? I am IlFam790, your social media choice, aka the editor of the podcast, and aka Captain Bro Albano, Brew Diamond Phillips, Sticky Dragon Steamboat, Pod Champ Pod, God's favorite podcast, the Potty Piper. I'm in the podcast, Chew Bubblegum, and I'm fresh out of Dente Nice, aka the Senior Love Daddy of WFAM, where family always matters. Hey, man, tonight I am joined by one of my favorite, I'm not gonna lie to you, one of my favorite podcasts is very smooth sounding guy. You know what I'm saying? He very knowledgeable on almost anything, and he is a complete and utter lunatic. Hey, man, we got Mighty Vin from the Oddball and Wrestle Rap podcast. What's going on, Vin?
Absolutely. Yo, man, what's going on? A lot of sports news this week. Or maybe not a lot, but like big sports news.
Well, it's that weird time of year too, right? Where
it's free agency, baby.
But it's the finals are over.
Mm-hmm.
We are about 2 months out from the NFL, so we've got the USFL championships, blood money. We have USFL championships, blood money golf. Don't forget the blood money golf. And Major League Baseball. You know what I'm saying? Do you do now? You're a New York guy. Do you do baseball games? Have you been? When was the last time you've been to a good baseball game?
I haven't been to a baseball game in years. But I do watch. I'm a Mets fan. I do like a good baseball. The problem with baseball right now is that they're not modernizing. But like when they want to modernize, they're doing it in the wrong ways. Like this week, they're talking about like, by 2024, we want to have robot umpires.
So
it's like, who the fuck? Like, I didn't ask for robot umpires. Like, it's not what I meant by modernizing the game.
But they have the commissioner now, right? Who's super hated. They hate the commissioner now.
Reason.
but he is going to be the modern, like we're going to get a pitch clock next season. It's like they're going to speed the game up, and I think they're talking about that digital strike zone is more of a reality than we think. Like it's like I think
everyone's getting hit too, so like the umpires are just doing a poor job.
So what they're going to do, the umpires are going to be there to call safe and out, and then with the strike zone, they're just going. It's going to be a headset, and the digital strike zone is going to be like boop, strike, boop, ball. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be like the video games now. Like it's insane.
Yeah, I think it's time, man. You got to remember that baseball is steeped in tradition, right?
That's what I hate about it. They don't want to create new tradition.
Right. It's all these old unwritten rules, and you don't do this. Listen.
Well, my favorite thing that I like to rag on is a couple of years ago, there was a big controversy about bat flipping. And when I first heard bat flipping, I'm thinking like guys were hitting a home run and then going too crazy and like fucking whipping the bats into the stands or something. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? People making such a big deal about bat flipping. And then I saw people finally do it, and it was just like a little like, whoop, they just kind of like flip it in the air a little bit. And I'm like, that's what you're fucking angry about? Like just a guy showing a little, putting a little mustard on his celebration, like before he goes and runs to first. I'm like, this is what Andreas Hale wrote a great article for Sporting News last year, where they did that Field of Dreams game. And Tim Anderson from the White Sox, who's a black man, for people who don't know, he hit the winning home run, and on his way back to home plate, he was celebrating. He was kind of doing like the Vince Carter, like it's over chant, and like he had some jewelry jangling, and some people were like, "Oh, he's being disrespectful," and Andreas was like, "No, he's not being a stodgy old white guy." Like to just put it completely bluntly, like he was a proud black man in that moment, putting a little style on his play, and people got upset about it. And Andreas was like, "No, he was like, I like seeing that. It adds something new that I've never seen before in baseball. Like people need like." Whether you're, black, Dominican, whatever, like more style and personality can only help the game, because baseball especially needs more. It's hard to make a personality because basketball is great at making personalities because people are playing like every other night for like 30 to 40 minutes a night. They're always in the spotlight. But even the biggest stars in the MLB, like Aaron Judge, big for the Yankees, big for New York. I would love to get a conversation going about like, is he a superstar though? And I don't think so. Like
I think he's just in a superstar position.
Right. Like if I asked 10 people at random, like point Aaron Judge out of a lineup, I don't think most of them could do it.
Aaron Judge kind of looks like what's the guy who killed the folks? What's the tight end?
Killer? Oh, Adrian Peterson?
No. The not from what's up, Box? From the Patriots. Hernandez.
Oh, Hernandez. Yeah.
Aaron Judge kind of reminds me of Hernandez. Like you put those guys together, I'd be like, it's one of them. Which one are you? But yeah, it's a very interesting thing. I think the commissioner now, who was it Tagliabue was the last guy, right?
I forget who the last one was. But now it's Rob Manfred.
Well, he was the previous commissioner's boy. Like he was in charge of the steroid commission and all of this, and he is going to be remember that thing in Batman where he was where Alfred was like, you can be the good guy or you can be something more. And I think this commissioner is going to end up being something more. He's going to end up going down as a bad guy, but he's also going to go down as the guy who modernizes baseball. And I think that is coming in the next few years, they will appreciate it, man. I went to a really good
Yeah.
baseball game this year. I just a couple of weeks ago for Father's Day, I went down to Camden Yards, which is arguably the most beautiful ballpark in sports. And shout out, man. Shout out for hitting the like. And I watched the Orioles play Tampa, beat Tampa 2-1, and it was a really good game, man. So it's definitely a great thing to do live. I can't watch baseball on TV. They have a ways to go to make that a thing.
They got to make it.
But yeah, that's it. And I think
again, I think you're right. Like they're trying, like they're being dragged kicking and screaming into having to make these changes, but they are finally making them. Like when it goes into extra innings, they already put a runner on second now, so that it just speeds things up. Someone can get some points faster, and we can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like so when we were at that game with my uncles the other night, or a couple of weeks ago, my uncles, my OGs, it's like the council OGs. You got to sit in front of them, like, hey, uncle, I'm gonna have this drink with y'all today. You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking with y'all. And they're still really, really, into the older generation. You know what I'm saying? Like guys 50 and over still really into baseball. But I don't know any 20-somethings that are into baseball, especially black folks. So they do have to modernize this game. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. But let's start the show off the way I like to start off with it every week, with the good, the bad, the ugly. Brother Vin, what was good this week?
Oh my God. I should have known these questions were coming.
This is that, yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to get the plates or no cups for you, Vin. You've been here before.
Well, what's good this week? I'll hit you with a 2-for-1. Like, what's good and bad is this KD. We'll get right into the KD situation, because sort of flipping it in reverse. Like, the bad of it is obviously losing Kevin Durant, because out of all the guys on this roster, he was the one that felt like, okay, if everything else goes south, he's locked in for 4 years. He'll be here. We can build. So the fact that he's like, nope, I want out, and especially right after re-signing Kyrie, it's like, okay, this is like this should, I don't even know what to think anymore. But the flip side to that is we are about to get the Hall of all halls for Kevin Durant. Like, every team has now stopped all their free trade talks and are now thinking about, do we have the trade equity? Do we have the all-stars to get Kevin Durant? Because as much as the Nets can say, hey, we want to punish you and just send you right back to OKC, or send you to, the Kings or to Orlando, they want something back. Right. So that puts them in a very interesting position, because now Kevin Durant is in a position where, no, I'm not in the comments causing. I'm live. I'm in your face now. But he's in a weird position where he was the leader on OKC, lost to Golden State, and then joined Golden State, and it was seen as a big step kind of backwards. Like, oh, you couldn't handle.
They were saying it was a sucker move.
It was a sucker move, because it's like these guys beat the brakes off of you, and now you're going to go join them.
That would be a sucker move in the 90s. This isn't the same league. It was a business move.
Oh, it absolutely was, because the other part of that equation is that I understand why he did it, because people were probably, people in the media have this pressure that they put on people, like, well, this guy's great, but when's he going to win a ring? So he was like, well, fuck it, I'll just go to these guys, win the ring, win a couple finals MVPs, and shut everyone up.
And then I can go and do what I actually have to do. He's trying to avoid the yearbuck career. He doesn't want to be Charles Barkley. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to be one of those guys.
It's going to backfire again, because now it's like the snake is eating its own tail. Because so he goes to Brooklyn and gets that chance. Now that he's got the pedigree, he's like, okay, I'm going to come to Brooklyn and start my own team. Long story short, doesn't quite work out. Now he wants to leave again. But the options he has available, equitable to what the Nets can get back, are either Phoenix, who already went to the finals, 2 seasons ago, and had the best record in the NBA. So they're knocking on the door.
That's where he says he wants to go, right? Go play with Chris Paul.
That's where he says he wants to go. Or Miami, who again were in the finals a couple of seasons ago, and were in the Eastern Conference Finals this past year. Or this would be the wildest thing if he joins Boston.
Yuck.
And it's like now you're joining another team that was just in the finals.
Right.
So it's like either way you slice it, like if they're going to get back a big name or a couple big names, he's going to have to end up going to a team that is already knocking on the door of getting over that finals hump. And he's just going to jump onto them and he doesn't have to lead them. He can just be like he was in Golden State. Nobody's going to, Steph Curry was always the leader on that team, but he was the finals MVP, KD. He's the best player on that team. Yeah, and they swept him. Again, that's why it's going to come full circle, because now he's going to be in an even worse position if he ends up going to Boston. Because now it's really going to look like.
But I think he's cognizant of that. I think we'll see him in Phoenix.
Could be. There's even an off chance that the Nets just hold on to him and are like, look, you're either going to sit out or you're just going to play. That's what happened to Hakeem Olajuwon in the 90s.
Did Bradley Beal sign? I know he
re-signed.
He did re-sign already. All right, good. Hey, KD, come on home, baby. I drive down 295, check out a couple games, head to town. You know what I'm saying?
Bradley Beal. There's still some people who want to like stay where they've been and get it done.
Let me ask you a question, Vin. Because you are have your ear to the street more than I do when it comes to the NBA. I am my sports teams are all over the country. I don't have a rhyme or reason. You have certain guys who are that archetype. They like the Yankees, they like the Cowboys, they like the Lakers, they like Duke basketball.
They like the popular teams.
I like Duke basketball. I love Dallas Cowboys. I am a Piston fan when it comes to the NBA. I hear the Pistons did well draft-wise and with a bit of a trade. I know they had the kid Cade Cunningham last year. What's the word on I guess the moves? What up, Wayne? What's the word on what they did over there? Is there any optimism there that they might do something?
Well, the Pistons have kind of been in like kind of a perennial rebuild for a little while now. So they got this kid Jalen Duran. They just signed Kevin Knox on a 2-year deal in free agency. They've got these first-round picks they've used to get Jaden Ivory and Jalen Duran, and really, Marvin. I'm just looking here. I'm just looking at the recaps. Like they signed Marvin Bagley on a 3-year deal, and so this is just what I really had expected. So I've been reading about them the past couple days, and really the thing with the Pistons is they're trying, in my mind, they're trying to recreate what they had in the early to mid 2000s. They want that sort of grit and grime, like the lunch pail Pistons. Because
you talk about
type of teams.
You talk about Mr. Biggs. You talk about Chauncey Billups. You talking about Chauncey, Rashid, Tayshaun Prince, Rip Hamilton. Who am I missing?
So they're going all in on youth, which is great, but that's a long-term project.
That's what's up. Who's the coach? Who's the coach now?
What's the what?
The coach in Detroit.
I don't know offhand.
It's it's gotta be, if it's an old school dude, it might be perfect. I mean, young guys, old dude, put Casey Jones or somebody crazy. Anyway, man, what's good for me this week? We mentioned him earlier. Robert Kelly was sitting to 30 years in prison for doing what he did. Yay.
Yeah. Finally
We're not going to see. Ben Wallace is exactly who I was forgetting. Dwayne Casey is the coach. So Robert Kelly, 30 years in prison. He probably won't see the light.
Well, he's gonna be fighting for his life there.
Hey, listen, he lost. He lost.
That's the last time we saw him, right? Was that Gail King interview?
Yep. They listen. You want to feed somebody to the vultures? They send you to Gail King. She'll do you. She gonna do you dirty. And he deserves to be done dirty.
Robert, sit down, Robert.
Yeah, Robert, sit down. That's what they said the other day.
Yeah.
Robert, sit down. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. They're gonna pee on you in jail. Anyway, the bad this week. If you have been anywhere online, you have seen this the situation mentioned. I saw someone on the timeline said, "Hey, listen, I'm muting everything. I'm muting the terms baby daddy and Happy Meal everywhere."
What?
What
is going on? I don't think I've heard of this.
So there's a situation where apparently a young lady had called the old man, say, "Look, I need some food. Your child over here need to eat." Hangs the phone up. Main man goes to McDonald's, come with the Happy Meal for his kid. However, his kid is the last of 4 children. And the mother cussed this gentleman out because he bought food for his kid and not all of the children. This story has made the rounds all over the place. Vin, this is your first hearing of this.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like even more than a local news story. Like this sounds like a personal issue.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a personal issue. It wasn't on the news, but the young lady,
she put a stink on it on Twitter, and everyone.
Well, she filmed herself cussing him out.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying, and like, you can't bring this food here unless you're gonna have food for all the kids, because I'm not gonna just send the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
bring for everyone. You know, I've got 4 kids here. Like, put a couple extra dollars on a dollar menu.
So it's a catch-22. If I think I have more of a problem with him being expected to do it. I think you do it. I think I would do it. You know what I'm saying? However, I just don't think you can expect someone to come around and be like, "Yeah, you better buy. I need money." First of all, there was a mention of some stamps or whatever. I mean, the word is that if you getting stamps for 4 kids, you get more than enough stamps. I am not familiar with the process. However, if you done traded your stamps for regular bread or whatever you've done, I don't know if it's completely fair to expect your old man, that's not your old man, your kid's father, to come with, you done had 4 kids. You almost got to start in 5. Now,
right.
What Kanye saying, I got to take all of them to showbiz? Nah. I definitely wasn't with them first 3 shooting in the gym. So it's a sensitive subject because it's kind of arguing.
It's a weird situation because it's like, hey, your child needs you. Okay, I'm gonna bring. Right, it's like your child needs you. Okay, I'll get my child food. But that guy knows there's 3 other kids in that house, even if they're not his.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you could have been nice and gotten them Happy Meals too.
Correct.
But at the same time, like, I don't know if you resolve the situation by like taking your phone out and filming it and
right.
It on Twitter.
So then the young lady hops back online and says, because she was getting fired up online, right? People were killing her, and her defense is that when we were together, he would buy all the kids food, right? And
exactly, like the second not to cut you off, but like the second like she's throwing that out online, she's got to know people are making assumptions. Like, I don't know that, okay, when you were together, he would buy the food for all the kids. Like, this really is none of anyone else's business.
Correct. It's a really rough deal because it shouldn't is. Like in a perfect world, yes, listen. Um feed all the babies. You know what I'm saying? But the is of it is, sweetheart, you had 4 kids. You had one with me, not me, but I'm just saying
Right.
one with the guy, and his obligation is to his child. Now, I may have
What if she had like 20 kids? Like, is he expected to feed? To bring over 19 extra Happy Meals? Like,
correct. Because this young lady, you know what I mean, obviously like to get skeeted in and have cheering. So, we don't know where it's gonna stop. We have no idea. However, what we do know is somehow she had mismanaged funds to the point where she had to call someone to get the children fed. It's a rough one, man. Like I said, you should go on feed the babies. However,
right. And again, we don't know
be
like, what
obligated.
she bought with the food stamps. Like, again, in a perfect world, like everyone would have all the food and resources they need. If you mismanage the stamps, it's on you. She looks like new money talking at that broke shit. Well, again, this is the stuff where it's like, I don't know her life. She also could have said the kids need food, not just your kid need food. She could have. But again, like, this is all stuff that has a context to it that we're not privy
to. So, and the only problem, if she would have said,
can you bring some Happy Meal? Can you stop at McDonald's on the way and get lunch for me and my 4 kids? We'd really appreciate it.
Or just the kids. But the way it sounds is she said, your child needs to eat. And when he showed up with the food for his child, she was like, well, his 4 kids here. And then there was an assumption made. And I feel like that, and that's a great question, what she recorded for. But that's it, man. She tried to play Buddy out and it backfired on her. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. We don't, let's see. What we do know is dude is
family meal package deal.
Well,
again, we don't know, like, how is there one other guy in this picture? Is there 2 other guys with 2 kids each? Like, these are answers we don't have, nor should we want to have these answers.
Yeah, it was just a whole really nasty situation, man. So shout out to everybody involved. I hope y'all get this together. That's it, man. For the ugly this week, I don't know. I didn't have anything for the ugly. Nothing jumped out at me. I didn't. Usually we reserve the ugly for folks passing away. I don't think any big celebrities.
This week.
Nah, I know the one rapper kid is paralyzed. I'm not quite sure his name, but shout out to him. Buddy had just got shot in the store, whatever, man. Shout out to Buddy. Hoping, he gets things together and turns things around. They said there's some paralysis involved. So prayers for yo. But speaking of music, that's gonna take us into my favorite topic, man. The release. Yo, somebody makes that sound, ladies. To the ladies that are not watching, if someone makes that sound on top of you,
run away.
Bless your heart. You're not gonna be able to run.
Yeah,
like hey, listen, you made your decision. God damn, they make that noise.
Do you remember in the mid-2000s when like every porn had that one guy, that like caveman looking dude, and all he would do is like make that noise in every movie?
I was not familiar. I don't think we were watching the same brand of pornography.
No, because he would pop up in all the like Showtime Cinemax stuff. There were always that repertoire of the same actors and actresses that would show up in all the movies that had like bikini in the title. It would be like Bikini Chain Gang, Bikini Roundup.
Bikini car wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People in the chat know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you're in the chat. Don't act like you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
So was this guy the caveman grunter? Was he a hairier guy?
I don't recall offhand. I just know
Okay.
he's got like a caveman face kind of.
Did he kind of? He looked almost angry all the time, kind of.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't a smiley guy. I think I know you're talking about. Maybe salt and pepper hair wasn't always. Was it?
He kind of looked like if Barney Rubble was like a adult film actor.
Holy smokes!
Hang on.
You give me some coochie. Amazing.
Hey, Betty, come over here. No.
Hey, Vin, I'm sorry. Vin, is there anything this week that you thought doesn't matter what it was? Anything that came out this week you thought was dope?
Anything that came out this week that I thought was dope. I will recommend to people if you're into thank you, Q. If anyone's into science fiction, this is a good week for it because that Obi-Wan series happened. But I would say even above the Obi-Wan series, I've been very pleasantly surprised by Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is on Paramount Plus. So if you're somebody who's into sci-fi, maybe you've been, maybe you gave Star Trek Discovery a chance, didn't like it. That show has more of like a more like dour, downbeat tone. This is more like hearkening back to like the original Star Trek, where it's like self-contained, like each episode is its own story, but with like the production values of today. Like this show looks absolutely gorgeous. Like you could see the money on the screen. So like if you're into like fun sci-fi, like kind of reminiscent of like the first couple seasons of the Doctor Who reboot from the mid 2000s, like you should absolutely check out Strange New Worlds. And the new Beavis and Butthead movie is not bad.
All right, man. If you do not have Paramount, find one of your friends that does, and you guys can share passwords. Hey, on to other stuff that comes from streaming. Stranger Things season 4 finale dropped.
That's right.
Folks are going crazy. No spoilers here. Also, Umbrella Academy season is that season 3 that just wrapped up. They dropped all their episodes all at once. Really good.
These streaming series are just like it's not like all the new shows are coming out in the fall and these shows just like happen. Like one day you hear about them and then 2 weeks later they're just out.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm waiting on me personally. I am waiting on the rest of Better Call Saul's final season.
Yes.
I'm excited about that.
Better Call Saul has been maybe the best prequel series ever. I can't think of anything that's like
Better Call Saul rivals Breaking Bad.
It does.
That's the sentence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you so you're fully all the way caught up into
I am not caught up. I have not seen this season yet. I'm gonna binge the first half right before the second half drops.
Yeah, it's really good. The very last scene of the very last the last episode for the break is wow.
I've heard it's all been amazing so far. It does that magic trick that Breaking Bad does, only to a greater extent, where if you put your trust in it, even if you're not into the first couple episodes, if you stay with it, it will reward you. And that was the case of Breaking Bad, because I know there's some people who, like, I've recommended Breaking Bad to, and they'll watch the first, 6 episodes and be like, it's not really for me. I'm like, no, you gotta, it builds on itself. You gotta keep watching. But even more than Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul has that, because the first season is great. The first season should get you right away. But you can see, the Saul stuff and the Mike stuff, especially in season 2, it kind of starts to diverge. Yeah. And you start to kind of think, oh, well, did they not think this through? Are they going to is this going to be like a half Saul show, half Mike show? But then, like, by the time season 3 rolls around, those threads come back together, and it's like, God damn it, they did it.
Yeah. It's an amazing show. What all right, let's do it, man. Let's have a conversation because we're here already. It's gonna be this week's, maybe one of two. This week's Shooting the 5, hashtag ST5. ST5 at Where's Buffy on all social media. Be sure to hit the subscribe and hit that share. Hashtag ST5. Just randomly, man. Top 5 shows of all time.
Just like my personal top 5?
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh. And this is in no particular order.
No particular order whatsoever, Vic.
Okay. I'm going to say X-Files is up there. I'm going to say Star Trek Next Generation is up there. The mid-2000s Doctor Who reboot. That's 3. Different World is in there for sitcoms. And The Simpsons. I'm going to say that's my 5.
I'll go. I'm going to go Martin, Fresh Prince, A Different World, Breaking Bad, The Wire.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Gotta
part
mix in.
Part of me wanted to put The Sopranos in there.
Yeah.
But there's just so much good TV, like when you really like dig in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Sopranos definitely did something special for just TV in general. I think I don't know if we get this run of TV shows on the streaming networks that are like rated R content. You know what I mean? That's consistent without the success of The Sopranos, man. Sopranos are very
Sopranos
important.
changed everything. Sopranos changed everything because they had, and this is a very specific thing about The Sopranos. Early in the first season, there's a specific episode, and a lot of people point to this one episode, the episode that changed TV forever. There's an episode where he's taking Meadow to see a college.
Yes. And he kills the guy
and he kills the guy that he thinks like caught him like at the payphone. And that's a significant episode because up to that point, you don't see Tony murder someone. So you still have this expectation of, well, we're following him around. It's his family. Like somehow he's going to be redeemed, right? And then the network, like HBO, didn't want him to kill that guy. And David Chase pushed back because HBO was fearful that there would be a big drop off, that people would stop watching because they'd be like, "Oh, boo! Like we don't like Tony now. Like he murdered that guy, so we can't get invested in him." And the exact opposite happened. It was like, "Well, no, now I want to know more about this guy. Like, why is he? How does he balance this life that he has?"
Yeah, listen, Tony Soprano, Omar from The Wire, Walter White, some of the more dynamic characters in a show ever, really, because they aren't just like the one thing. They aren't the one thing that we get to see from the show. We get to see their vulnerabilities. We get to see that like we're supposed to root for them, but they are not 100% white meat baby faces. You know what I'm saying?
And The Sopranos was even more, again, like with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, the more you watch, the more you get the bigger picture, which is that these guys that we're watching are coming in at the very tail end of the mafia. The mafia's heyday is already come and gone by the time like we're watching that first episode of The Sopranos. And
Correct.
if you notice in that first season, it feels like a typical mob drama. Like they have meetings with all the the captains. They go and do all the mafia things that you would expect. But then as the seasons go on, you see that break down more and more. until by the final episode, it's like, they got to meet in, a cold, car yard to like have a meeting to settle their score with New York.
Yeah.
And it's like, these guys are not sitting around in luxury anymore. They're like barely scraping by.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Ben, because I'm completely ignorant to this. What does the modern day mafia look like? Is there a thing? Is it still a thing? Are there still?
I mean, people say it's still a thing. I wouldn't put it past. I think the modern mafia is probably less steeped in tradition, where you always hear these stories about the mafia, like, oh, well, we follow codes and you gotta, we have these meetings and we do this and that, and it's like, it's probably more treated like a legitimate illegal business.
Okay.
Where it's like, a lot of business deals going on in construction where there's money getting skimmed off the top for some, one reason or another.
Fair enough. I know. Staten Island is one of those places. They get to talking all. The Soprano. You know how goddamn Paulie Walnuts talked.
Oh, I love Paulie. It's funny how Paulie, he survives the whole series. He's kind of like the dumb guy who just goes through the whole process, the whole series, and is kind of oblivious to all the other shit going on around him. And then he's kind of the last man standing.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Paulie Walnuts, man. Amazing show. Amazing. I guess that is going to take us. Well, we've kind of done everything. We got here.
Sports and above.
Yeah, we did sports and above. You know what I'm saying? We did an ST5.
What's this?
It says I'm in Soprano.
I'm in Soprano State I'm in Soprano State. What state are you in? Since I've been here, if I see someone that looks like Sparks, I look forward. I don't know what that even means. You gotta speak English, brother. You gotta.
What he's saying is, you gotta decide. You gotta speak Banks. Saying if somebody looked like Sparks, he looks like, you know what I mean. He may, know how to make a good, gabagoo or something. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. You know what I mean? You see him, he just looks straight. I'm not looking that guy in the face.
I see him. Look straight. Don't stare at the gabagool. Just keep walking.
Yeah, get that guy. Look, I don't know how to make a good Sunday sauce, so I'm just gonna look forward. It's funny. Speaking of Sunday sauce, I made some baked ziti the other night for my family, and I was talking about it, and Sparks texted me. Shout out to Emilio Sparks. He says, yo, you really making baked ziti over there? I'm like, oh, here we go.
He's like, well, you're cooking that baked ziti too long. You really should only be cooking it for 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, it came out perfect. The ziti came out perfect. The Italian, the bread was good. You know what I'm saying? It was the garlic bread. I have not tried cooking in the crock pot, but listen, at this point, the crock pot might be dead in my house because of the Instapot. That Instapot is
really.
Listen, when I tell you I have been making amazing meals, and it cut the time, so you ain't that 3 hours or that cooking it all day. Nah, you don't gotta do that.
Like a crock pot on a
fast forward.
Crock pot.
Correct.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? My favorite right now, man, is smothered chicken. You make the smothered chicken in the Instapot.
I bet that pulls apart good too.
My gracious, very, very tender. The gravy I made. Oh my gosh, I made some braised short ribs with a wine sauce, son.
I love a good wine sauce.
Listen, I was definitely been getting busy with the Instapot, man. It's the new air fryer. Everybody was a year or two ago was super excited. Now it's the Instapot, man. That Instapot, you'll see. You know what I mean? It's really going crazy. He said, man, keeps his head eyes open, eyes on the prize, no one. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Everyone making a meme and TikTok videos about buying food for kids. Yes, they are definitely.
You are behind on this video.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Body. Matt, you're way behind. You're way behind.
That's what's up,
body
man.
model. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Matt, we way behind. Yo,
So Trick Daddy's cooking
Trick,
show
I
on
got my pots. I have definitely been tuning in to Trick Daddy's cooking show. I haven't seen him wash his hands once. I am not eating no Trick Daddy food. You know what I mean? Trick love the kids. And I was listening to Trick Daddy a couple weeks ago. The song he did, I think it was him and Outkast, "In the Wind." You know what I'm saying? CeeLo on the hook. Yeah, man. Vin, do you have a good, before we get out of here, because we gonna wrap things up a little early today. But before we get out of here, is there a good playlist that you have been partaking in as of late?
Oh man, well, I would recommend. Maybe I'll put this on Twitter.
Okay.
I have a New Jack Swing playlist.
Ooh.
That I put on Twitter. You've seen it. Pop singer featuring Crush Groove.
Huh.
I think I've got the Crush Groove vinyl because they came out with that for Record Store Day a couple years ago.
That's dope. I just missed Record Store Day a couple of weeks ago.
Ever since the pandemic, I forget when it comes up. But there were a couple years where like every year I was going to like get the exclusive shit.
Yep. So what playlist? You said a New Jack Swing playlist?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send it. You know what? Let me send it to you right now. If people want some recommendations, we can kind of.
I will throw it up on the Twitter feed of at Where's Buffy, and also y'all been listening to some down south 90s, late 90s. So you get some Young Bloods, some who else? It was Young Bloods. You got a bunch of folks from Pastor Troy, everybody from back then, man.
Well, I'm saying we could play it up on the screen right now and see if people recognize any of these artists. Here we go. Let me share. Copy that link. And send it to you on Twitter. Where are you? There you are. There we go. You should be getting that in a second. Now let's see if there's anything that needs to get added to this.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Because I know this playlist might be right up your alley.
Listen, I am such a New Jack Swing guy. That's definitely my deal. Let's see. It's called More Bounce on the Spotify. I'm hoping it doesn't try to play this music. I hope it just.
If so, this isn't monetized anyway, so they can't do anything.
Right. I hit you with a strike, though. They will definitely hit you with a strike.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share the screen and see what we got here before we get out of here. Show some of this playlist.
Yeah, well, if you're watching at home, you can make like when I used to watch the Time Life commercials and just see something you like, jot it down, steal it later.
Yeah, whole time. All right, let's see
all
what
those
we got.
infomercials were good for. I would watch the whole thing, like, oh, that sounds good, and go to Napster. And...
All right, see what we got here. So Rough, So Tough, some Zap, Mary Jane Girl on One Way. Listen, Johnny Kip Just Got Paid cameo. The Whispers. Greatest. Hey, listen, Hall of Fame mustaches.
Can't be Hall of Fame cod pieces. Come on.
Shalimar.
You have to remember Shalimar Hall of Fame bass lines.
Hey, listen. Mama used to say, hey, young man. Hey, listen, you got some jams here, man.
Your time.
Yes, sir. My man. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's my man, Vin. That being said, man, check out the I'm gonna try to throw that link up on the on the Twitter, man. But we're gonna get out of here, brother Vin. How can the folks get at you on social media?
Yeah, follow me over at Mighty Vin over on Twitter. Follow Body More Bottles. Just because, go follow Body More Bottles. He's not gonna lollygag. He's gonna get right into that body bag. He's gonna give you a straight review.
You already know.
Yeah, exactly. You can follow the Oddball Podcast over at Oddball Podcast on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at VinForteNYC. Follow WrestleRap over at WrestleRap on your social media of choice. And yeah, that's in there, man. And also pay the $5, pay the $10 for the Black Wrestling Patreon. There may be some fun stuff going up on there.
Yeah, a couple crazy bulls on there going wild in the shiny shop. We shall see, man. I am IlFam79 on your social media choice, aka the Arn Anderson Podcast, and Captain Broadband, Brew Diamond Phillips. Thinky the Dragon, Steamboat Pod, Shampoo God's favorite podcast, the Potty Piper in the podcast. Chew Bubblegum, and I'm fresh out of Dentine. Nice to see you. Love Daddy at WFAM with family always matters, man. At Where's Buffy on all social media. At Something Else Pod. 2 weeks. I
was gonna say, when is this coming out? I've been hearing about it for like months.
We finally. Oh man, we wanted to get some episodes in the can because we're dealing with talent and everybody is actually, it's an interview show somewhat. So we wanted to get these episodes in the bag before we started really doling them out. So you're talking, they're going to start dropping on Wednesdays, not this Wednesday, of course, but the following Wednesday. Just keep it locked, man. Something Else Pod, no G, because we all the G you need. IlFam79 on everything. At Where's Buffy, at Black Wrestling. You already know what it is, brother. I appreciate you, brother Vin, for coming out, man. And we out, man. We out.
I told y'all niggas.